How accessible is Laos for disabled people? Before visiting Laos, I couldn't tell you much about it, but it's beautiful. Stunning landscape, such a chilled atmosphere, and the most untouched place I've been in Asia to date. But how accessible is it for disabled people? Let's take a look. It's safe to say Laos streets weren't built with accessibility in mind. There are some pavements which are fairly smooth and well paved, but many others which were narrow, uneven, with obstacles such as street vendors, parked vehicles, and debris to deal with. There's little to no tactile paving or specific crossing points, but this does encourage patience, awareness, and a slower pace by drivers who will often be sharing the roads with pedestrians. The streets aren't helped by a lack of street lighting, which, coupled with the dodgy pavements, can make navigation at night even more difficult. One thing I did see a lot of were drop curbs and ramps. These were more than likely put in place for the mopeds and motorbikes most people get around on in Laos, but whoever they were put in place for will take it as they do make the place a lot more accessible. Next up, transport. We got to Laos via sleeper bus from Chiang Mai. I'll be honest, it's not something I'll be rushing back to. The combination of bumpy roads, fast driving and cramped spaces made me feel like I'd just done a stint in a tumble dryer by the time I stumbled out. On the other side of things, the new bullet train that connects the Luang Prabang to Vientiane was a pleasure. The station was modern with tactile guides throughout and interpreted audio and visual signalling. It's level access onto the train, which is bright, spacious and clean. I didn't manage to have a full look around, so can't be certain that it had priority seating and wheelchair spaces, but with how modern it is, I'd be very surprised if it doesn't. I didn't use any other public transport in Laos, but Grab is available, which has some accessibility information. Motorbikes and mopeds are big in Laos as a way to get around to see the many natural sights and attractions, down sandy paths, dirt trails and questionable bridges. And on that, the roads in Laos are nowhere near as hectic as other countries in Asia, but they're in a bad state in some places. The ditches and bumps can be hard to deal with for anyone, but even more so for people with conditions that might be exacerbated by this type of terrain. Finally, general feel and culture. I know Laos has had a bit of bad press recently, but I hope this doesn't put people off visiting. There is so much to do and so many natural attractions to see. It can be really sleepy in some places, but you've got lively atmospheres in others, so something for everyone. Like many places in Asia, the lack of physical access is compensated to some extent by the focus on supporting relationships, community and hospitality. Although they're still working on the physical access, this coupled with its beautiful nature and relaxed atmosphere has made it one of my favourite places I've visited. And that's how accessible Laos is for disabled people. We're off to Vietnam next, so make sure you give this page a follow to see how accessible it is there, as well as other countries in Asia. And let me know in the comments if there's anything you'd like me to speak on the places I visited to date, or look out for in the places to come.